Here at the Level Up Co., Kelly and I truly do believe that an elevated client experience from the very first touch point of that first email all the way through the delivery of your wedding films or those final galleries are all so important. And that's why Kelly and I both have been using and loving VidFlow for the last several years, and we recommend to all of our students and our audience members to use VidFlow as well. Delivery experience truly matters. The way your clients view their films for the very first time should be a magical moment. It needs to be a professional and branded experience, instead of basic file sharing like Dropbox or Google Drive, or even Vimeo or YouTube links. Through VidFlow, clients can stream their videos through smart TVs, streaming devices, and setup boxes. Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, you name it. There are so many options for clients to watch and experience their films for the very first time on the big screen at home. And VidFlow is now offering photo delivery as well. They now support photo delivery with their new hybrid galleries, which is a major benefit for hybrid shooters and combined photo and video teams. You can now deliver your beautiful photo galleries alongside your video galleries in one place. Level up your delivery experience for 2026 and beyond with VidFlow. You can get started today by going to vidflow.co/thelevelupco. This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petrinovich.
And I'm Kelly Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here.
Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of the Level Up Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Petrinovich, joined as always by my co-host, Kelly Gilster.
Hi guys. Taylor, how are you? We're finishing up day one of Hybrid Co.
Yep. It's a lot of fun. You guys are probably going to hear us talking about hybrid a lot over the next couple of weeks because we set up our little mobile podcast studio here. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll see that we're recording in person in a real studio. And this is the first time we're bringing on guests in a live format as well. So stay tuned for lots of really amazing episodes we're so excited about. But earlier this morning, I put out a call on our Instagram stories for our followers to submit questions. And so we're excited to dig into some of your guys' questions who are not at hybrid. And so without further ado, we can get into those. Again, I love answering listeners' questions on the podcast because it gives us opportunities to talk about things that we may not normally think to talk about.
Yeah, like things that we don't have our pulse on, or we get so in our echo chamber of all the things, branding and strategy and leveling up and all the stuff. And so sometimes it's great to hear from you guys, from our actual audience of what are the internal thoughts and processes that you're currently working through as a filmmaker, as a photographer in those early years of business?
Yeah, so true. I don't know. It's very illuminating for us to hear you guys' questions. I love it every time. So I'm just going to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So Jesselyn Meehan Films asked, what's your best opening line at networking events?
So I'm not an elevator pitch kind of person at networking events. I'm going to be totally honest. But if someone were to ask me, I'm not going to go up and be like, hi, my name's Kelly Gilster, co-owner of 618 Studios. But if someone were to say, hey, my name's Greg, who are you? And what do you do? And so I'm more of I guess my elevator pitch would be, I'm Kelly. I'm a filmmaker based in Southern California, and my husband and I shoot together. Our business name is 618 Studios, and we work locally all over California and also across the country.
I love it.
Taylor, what about you?
Mine is honestly really similar. I don't have a pitch per se. I introduce myself, and actually I don't know. I try to be pretty casual until we get to a point in the conversation where we might be talking about business specifically. I think a lot of different tactics could work. I think there's some people who are, I would call that more aggressive to come in with a pitch. And I think that could definitely work. That's just not really my vibe. As more of an introvert who sometimes struggles with being in environments where I'm meeting a bunch of new people, that would send me into a coma. But I think that there's a time and place for that. And I think some people would really thrive with having a proper pitch.
Yeah. What are some areas where you feel some people would thrive in a proper pitch versus not?
I feel okay, so one example would be Kindred. We went to Kindred Palm Springs about, actually when the time this is airing, like 18 months ago. And in that scenario, it was kind of like a speed dating kind of situation where you only have 20 minutes to sit down with each person. And when you have such a limited amount of time to talk to somebody in like a more controlled environment where like we're all there, we know we're meeting each other, like we've been set up on this like kind of date. I feel like that's an appropriate time to kind of like have a pitch in your back pocket because it's very efficient. Like you only have so much time. It's straight to the point. Like we know why we're here. Like we don't need to like beat around the bush. But when you're at normal networking events and you're just like standing around like the water cooler or the bar or whatever, like it can feel sometimes like a little too aggressive. But I think there's a time and a place.
Okay, I'm gonna even ask another follow-up question because it just sparked my interest. What would you say is a very effective outline of what to include in a really great, short, concise, but clear elevator pitch?
Yeah. Your name, your business name, what you do, where you're based, where you work, and what makes you different. So, hi, my name is Taylor Petrinovich. I'm Taylor Petrinovich. That's just my brand name, but I would probably say cinematography. I'm a filmmaker based in Northern California. I primarily do work in the Napa and Tahoe markets, and and I love weddings that feel just like a big celebration. I love multi-day events. I love the more color, the better. The more energy, the better. Like that's really the vibe that I love to capture with my clients. And then I think that would be really great because then as you're meeting people, they kind of can categorize you. Like a planner is going to have a variety of different clients who have a pretty wide array of tastes and like how their event is going to flow. And so somebody who wants to do more like intimate weddings, like she's automatically going to know I'm not a good fit for them, but I'm a good fit for this other client. So like the planner's role is to like categorize their like Rolodex of creative partners that they have in their back pocket and just pick and choose based on what they know about each person and try to like pitch those to the client. Like they're not just pitching everybody. They're doing a lot of that leg work and like a lot of that back end thinking of like who's a good fit based on personality, style, what they lean into, what they don't do before they even reach out about availability. So the more you can kind of give them about like what makes you different, the better. And I feel like that's kind of like a muscle people have to flex because a lot of us tend to have like very vanilla generic answers because we haven't done a lot of work into like figuring out actually like what we do differently. Like anyone can say like, well, my ideal client is a bride or groom between the ages of 25 and 35 getting married at the budget of $100,000 or like whatever, you know what I mean? But you really have to like dig into it a little bit more.
For sure, for sure. We love to guide our students through that. They say that's one of their most favorite things is to identify what that is, who they serve, and the clear pathway. And that ideal client needs to change and ever evolve in your business. We spoke at Hybrid earlier today, and I had said, 18 months ago, my client is another version of herself now, even 18 months ago. So it's not something that you can just do once.
Yeah.
It's something that you should be doing every couple of years and leaning into that and then making sure that the brand is really supporting who you want to attract.
Love it. Okay. That was a great question from Jesselyn. I loved it. Okay. Ooh, this is like totally coming from an opposite direction. Abby King with Little Kings Media wants to know and I already know the answer to this for you. What's the most amount of time you take off for quote unquote off season?
Zero things. Zero things.
0 days.
0 days.
Yeah.
Time off.
Yeah. How much time do you take off for the off season?
0 days.
We might be workaholics. Like we kind of have a problem.
But what are we talking about like in off season? Like you can work in the business and then you can work in the off season on the business.
Yeah. If you're not shooting and editing and delivering, you should be out marketing and branding and networking. Yeah. There's like I feel like the wedding season, if you work in an environment or in a market where there are like two distinct seasons, like for me in Northern California, like generally speaking, I shoot weddings from May to October. Like that's really like prime time for me, which means that November through April is like work on the business time and then the summer is work in the business time. And you really do need both sides of the coin like strengthened and intact in order for your business to succeed and grow. And if you're just looking at business as like I just shoot, I edit, I deliver, and then I wait until next season, like you're missing out on so much opportunity.
Right. I'll say in Southern California, there's kind of more of an opportunity for a year-round season, but there are heavier like quarters of weddings, right? Like
Mhm.
the summer and fall are always going to be like the fall is always going to be extra heavy. And then like the winter is a little bit more chill and relaxed. But in that time, I will say, I mean, it's not like I never take a vacation. Like we vacation plenty for like little
Yeah,
weekends.
but
And
we
it's
bring our
just,
laptops though.
we
That's something about
do,
us.
but that's just us. And I mean, I will say that people in the upper levels, they kind of operate the same way.
I mean, if an inquiry rolls in and you gotta put together a proposal, like, I'm not gonna wait 8 days, you're gonna lose the client. So, like, I'm jumping on it. Like, I'm at the pool with my kids, and I'm gonna excuse myself for 45 minutes to, like, go take care of that, like, in real time. I
Yeah.
really will.
Yeah. No, I will too. Absolutely. You know me, I shot a wedding 10 days after having my third baby. Like no
Yeah.
days off here. But I'll set some like parameters of work windows and all of that. Like I won't be a total like I won't make it so it's burdensome to my myself if I'm feeling that way. But I don't know, maybe it's just honestly the millennial me. I was raised by Kelly Catrone in the hills in the city, and I love that woman. And I really do think that the early bird gets the worm and your work ethic shows and you'll be rewarded for your work ethic.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like everyone operates a little bit differently, but that's just the way in which that I've always conducted in business. And I can see now that because I hustled in those earlier years before I had my kids and all that stuff, I can take more of the vacations throughout the year. Obviously, I'm only shooting 10 weddings a year, like sometimes 12. So it's not like that workload of the 30 weddings that we were doing
Yeah.
beforehand. Like that was harder.
Yeah.
Like, and I had no time for the breaks. So I
Right.
kind of took that and I just learned how to continually fill my time as I took on less, you know?
I would say so if you like, off season, quote, unquote, like, this is, like, very truly, like, what I do. During if we didn't have Level Up, if it was just, like, the film business, right? Winter break with my kids, I'm not doing a lot of heavy lifting. So, like, I would say, like, 2 days before Christmas through New Year. Like, I'm not, like, doing a whole lot, but I'm still answering like, I'm still cracking the laptop for an hour to 2 a day, answering emails and, like, taking care of things, like, as they arise, but I'm not, like, moving the needle in my business. So I would say, like, that's a break. Like, that's constituting a break, right? And then I do the same thing over the summer. Like, if we are on vacation, like, I'm really only cracking the laptop to answer emails and, like, take care of, like, urgent matters. But, like, for me, like, that's kinda it. Like, the rest of the year, I am pretty active. Like, I am interacting on social media, I'm networking, I'm keeping my name in front of people, I am trying to think of new ways or, like, research or education. Like, I would say that, like, educating yourself on, like, the next tactics, like, that's still work. Like, you're still at work. Like, that's
Yeah.
not time off, you know?
Right.
Like, it's bettering your business, and so, I think there's always something that you can be doing if you, like, are wanting to grow to, like, move the needle, indirectly or directly.
Right.
Yeah,
So great.
so
And
good.
just uncovering more that we're just workaholics.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
I wouldn't have it any other way if I'm being honest.
So many of you listening are incredible filmmakers. But if you're stuck in the cycle of always editing with no time to actually work on your business, it can really stunt your growth. Taylor and I see it all the time. A growing backlog, late nights behind the computer, and no space to focus on booking, marketing, or scaling. That's exactly why we're so excited to partner with Wanderlust. Wanderlust offers professional video editing services for filmmakers, including highlight films, feature films, documentary edits, ceremony and speech edits, elopements, and even social media teasers. And the best part is they match your style, so your films still feel like your artistry. Whether you edit in Final Cut, Premiere Pro, or DaVinci Resolve, they deliver a seamless outcome no matter which platform you use. Outsourcing your edits means more time working on your branding, making it to that networking event, and carving out time for education to actually grow your business instead of being buried in footage. Head over to wanderlust-videos.com to learn about their amazing services. And as a listener, you can get $100 off your first project with Wanderlust of $200 or more with the code LEVELUP100. If your backlog is keeping you from working on your business, Wanderlust is your solution.
Ooh, Julia Kettner. Hi, Julia. She asked, how do you handle pushback on pricing?
That's great.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. First, it's who is it coming from?
Yeah.
Coming from a client? Is it coming from a planner? Different methods there.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at, honestly, you said something in a podcast episode a few weeks ago that was so great that you said, it was for your March wedding that you had, and they came down a couple thousand in pricing.
Yeah.
Maybe talk through that because they did give you pushback on pricing. Did they give you pushback or did they just come in with a budget that they had in
I
mind?
was approached with a budget that they had in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it was, I think there's a lot to be said for having a list of reasons why you would be flexible in pricing or break your own pricing rules. And if a wedding or a client comes along that is requesting or being pushy and demanding, a different price point than what you originally offered, then just having a really easy list to follow of like it's a yes or a no. So just have that list for yourself, like sit down before that inquiry comes in and like pre-decide, because sometimes when an inquiry comes in, emotions can be high and we don't want to make that decision based off emotions. We want to make it based off of like logic and reasoning, and you can't do that in a heightened emotional state. You have to do it when you're like totally calm, cool, collected. So sit down, make your little list, and just use that as kind of your litmus test when those inquiries come in.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, Taylor and I will be totally transparent. We love transparency on this podcast. And there has been situations in this season, in last season, where we have taken like a bit of an adjustment when we are approached or we get a little bit of pushback. I think that it's important to remember that yes, we are worth our value, but like it's better to maybe make $5,000 than $0 that month or $10,000 than $15,000. Like it's still money in your bank account that is sometimes needed
Yeah.
or wanted for, hey, I'll take it. It came last minute and I want to go take my trip to Hawaii with my family. And like that's going to directly fund that we weren't able to take that vacation before. So just like looking at it and compartmentalizing it in that way, I think sometimes allows us to make more of those educated decisions.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Now, I have a question that actually Justin with Tone Media, who was in our most recent mastermind group from the fall of 2025, he said on my personal, he's like, I know that you're podcast recording and I have to ask you this question. So I was like, great, we will definitely answer it on the podcast. He said, at what point should a business owner start diversifying beyond their primary income stream to reduce family risk? We chose real estate.
I love it. I would say as soon as you feel settled in your business, it's smart to like start looking elsewhere. I think that capacity and energy on any given day, week, or month. And if you spread that energy too thin, you're not going to make any real meaningful traction like anywhere. So you have to kind of focus on one thing at a time. So get your wedding business up to where you want it to be for the time being. And then once you feel like that momentum is built, the ball's kind of rolling, it's feeling a little easier, and you have some extra time and energy available to you, start pouring it into an additional revenue stream. And like I do think that like real estate's great. Obviously, we dove into education. You have your corporate commercial brand. Like there's so many ways to diversify your income. And actually, I am going to give a quick plug because we have a course about this. We have a course called the Revenue Multiplier, and in there we teach you how to diversify your income through selling digital products, entering the education space, or going into corporate commercial work. And I think those are three ways that a lot of photographers and filmmakers are really interested in learning about. And so if you're interested in that and you want to know kind of like how to do that, what to do, what to get your feet wet in, and like the steps that you need to take in order to diversify your revenue in those ways, grab the course. We would love to have you. thelevelupco.com/revenue.
Yeah, it's a great program. And actually, as we were here at Hybrid, we had Jacqueline Benet, who said she purchased our Revenue Multiplier course and she just launched her first course in December. And now she is here as a sponsor of Hybrid,
No
which I haven't
way.
even told you about.
I
We
didn't
need to
know
talk about
that.
it. Yes. And it was the night one. And she's like, are you still going to launch that? That was such a great course and like such a great program. Like, and I actually used it to launch my course. And now I'm here sponsoring Hybrid. And I was like, wait, what? Was like, I need to know more about this. And I think I got pulled in another direction. I'm like, okay, Jacqueline, I need to know more about that. But it is truly such a comprehensive course because maybe your 2027 goal is that you are kind of in the off season, sprinkling in some mentorships here and there, and you can see that it could be something that could be profitable for you. Taylor and I can show you how to actually turn this into a revenue stream rather than just what we call a cash injection, which is we see so many filmmakers and photographers caught in the cash injection mindset rather than an actual revenue stream. So whether it is education, maybe as your 2027 goal, or dabbling into corporate commercial work, makes up a lot of myself and my husband's revenue. How you get the clients, how you speak the language of corporate commercial work, because it's very different than the wedding world, which we had our wrist slapped so many times because we were trying to enter it as like, oh, we have this figured out. We've been shooting weddings and doing films for 10 years. But no, like corporate and commercial is a whole different beast. The way in which they speak, the language is so different, the way in which they get in touch with you and you do the deliveries and how you bill. Like we were billing so incorrectly for corporate and commercial for so many years. And then when we leaned into this new strategy, it like 3 times, 4 times our revenue. So, or digital products, which I would say digital products are a great first step for
Yeah,
people.
I think they're the easiest one to, like,
So
kinda get up and
maybe
running.
so maybe digital products is your 2027 goal. Maybe then you're rolling it into education in 2028, and then maybe you're rolling it into another thing later down the road. So
Yeah.
we love it. We think that that really does as Justin said, like it really does reduce family risk, and I think it's really smart. I think if COVID taught us anything, you know, there's a lot of maybe you listeners that entered after COVID, but COVID was a time where it really got us thinking about, hey, we can't have all of our eggs in one basket. Our entire wedding season just collapsed for 18 months and there goes all of our income. Like
Yeah.
we need to find ways to be smarter, be less risk averse. And so revenue multiplier is a great course.
We have another question from Kikai Bouchard saying, "What's in the future for the Level Up Co.?"
I don't know, Taylor, what is it?
I I think that we have a few things up our sleeves that we're not quite ready to talk about yet. But in 2026, I mean, honestly, what we're really focused on is growing League. Like, League is our new networking community that we launched in July of 2025, which we're really excited about. We would love to grow that so that there are more really amazing members in the community for people to connect with and form relationships with. We have a few smaller courses coming out throughout this year to kind of help people in very specific like things that they're needing help with, right? So we love our mastermind and it's very comprehensive, meaning like it's kind of an A to Z program, right? But there are a few topics where people specifically need help with. So we're coming out with a few smaller offerings like that. But long term, I mean, I do feel like Level Up is just getting started. And I would have to imagine that the version of Level Up sitting here in 2026 is like very, very different than it will look like in 2036. Like, I think it might be unrecognizable by then. Like we have some big dreams and some big plans. So excited to see where it takes us.
Excited, yes. And even going back to some of the smaller offerings that we're planning to roll out over the next 12 to 18 months is that one of our most popular items is our pricing mini course. And so I think we've kind of seen based on just the built in demand of that and the fact that people are looking for small little bite size education pieces while they may be saving up still for the investment of that 10-week program, our luxury mastermind. So we want to be able to serve all of you in whatever your education endeavors are and the little things that you're looking for. And so, yeah, we're excited to roll out additional mini things so that that bite size education can be feasible for everybody.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, we have one last question. And this is from Sunny Pop Photo. How does networking look in the luxury space? Is it different from the mainstream?
Absolutely. I mean, in the mainstream market, I don't know that networking is really on people's radar. Like, there's no really pulse on it. In the luxury space, people have actually asked us, they're like, so if you're not running ads and you're not doing this and you're not doing this and you're not like leaning into SEO, like, what are you spending your marketing on? And we've said, like, we're spending it by getting in the room. Like, we're here recording for a hybrid conference, and there's lots of people that I think this is a great introductory when you're looking to step into the room for the very first time. We feel like it's a very safe space. It has education, it has like networking components as well. And so I would say that would be it. Taylor, anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that in the luxury space, networking is more about finding a community of people that you get along with and people just like to work with people they like, right? So it's more about just spending quality time in a controlled environment with a handful of creatives that hopefully will lead to a working relationship down the road. Whereas I do think in the mainstream market, like it's a little bit more transactional. Like I see more like people asking planners out for coffee dates or like things like that where to me that feels very like it just feels more transactional to me, right? But I feel like in the luxury space like it's more like long-term relationships. Like if I hang out with you at Engage for a week, like that's great. And maybe it'll turn into a booking. But I feel like it's more about fostering that relationship over time. And then maybe in 3 years, it'll turn into a book. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, it's more the long game. It's like
Right.
kind of how I'm seeing people approach it differently. But I also think that in the luxury space, like there's more networking events at like a higher dollar amount. And so that means like the actual experience at that event will be just different than something that costs less money. So like even though like the caliber of networking events shifts, and it's just because of like the cost.
Right.
So yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I hope that helps you guys listening kind of shape the idea of networking. And if that is on your radar for 2026 and heading into 2027, we have seen big changes in our business based on that.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this little Q&A podcast episode. It's so fun when we are able to get your guys' questions and answer them on the podcast. And I also hope you're enjoying our hybrid series. Again, like this set will be here for the next several episodes. We're really, I don't know, I'm loving recording in person. This is
It's
so
been
fun.
so fun. We've never done it before, and we've now been in business together for 3 years. So 3 years, it's finally happening. I felt like in the beginning we were like trying to figure out like about like, can I touch you? Are you real? Like you're not through a screen. But now we have our flow and it's all great. And yeah.
And actually, you know what? We did do our car series that went live several weeks ago, but that was not a studio like this. We just had like our little mics and we were like driving around. And so I guess technically we had recorded in person. At the intro of this series, I said we had never recorded in person before. And then I caught myself. I was like, I guess technically we did. But it's so different when like it's like a set with like real mics and like lights and cameras and like I don't know, this feels different. So anyway, like I said, we might set something up like this permanently. The podcast might get a little upgrade.
Taylor has big dreams. She's like, let's bring this back to California from Charleston.
I would love that. Isn't it so pretty? I don't know. If you have not yet checked the podcast out on YouTube and you don't know what we're talking about, like just go click over to our YouTube channel just to like see our set. I don't know. I think it's really fun. So
it's worth it. It's worth it.
All right, guys. Talk to you next week. Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.